So, good morning. My name is Mary Jane Murphy Bound. I'm an instructional design and technology specialist at the University Online Education Services at Rutgers University. On behalf of the 2025 Rutgers University Online Conference, I welcome Dr. Heba El Khatib from the Rutgers University School of Arts and Sciences Writing Program. We are pleased to have her share her thoughts on an inclusive online pedagogical model. During the presentation, please engage using the live chat. You may pose any questions you have, and we will answer as we go along as time permits. Dr. Heba may ask for participation at times, and if you would like to contribute, please just raise your hand in the toolbar.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mary Jane. Many thanks to you for all the sessions that you have convened with me to facilitate this today. Thank you so much, especially Friday. 2 meetings because the internet was down. We're talking about online learning, but it's not the online tools, it's us. We make it happen. I am Hebatullah El Khatib. You may call me Hebatullah, just like Gabriella. You can say Gabby, Heba of Allah, Emanuela. So you can always call me Heba. So my name is Heba, okay? Because Allah, it means of Allah or of God, but that's not my name, of course. So I'm Heba Al Khatib, and I am here with you today to share something that is outstanding and beyond. It is not just at Rutgers level, but it's not national level, but international. We would love to have any faculty who is interested in professional development and pedagogical development, connecting with students to join us from anywhere in the world. This is an online course for a reason. I started online courses, and deliberately I have presented at Rutgers before, and that was several years ago. And this is my second time. This is my first time presenting Rutgers University, the English Department Writing Program and Graduate Writing Program. Last time I was presenting the Near Eastern Studies at Princeton University, and I was sharing another pedagogical model of Arabic English phonology, morphology, and syntax. And today we're rising even above that to share an inclusive, interactive, and pedagogical model that's interdisciplinary. And I want to highlight interdisciplinary because that's something that doesn't happen. It's not used as a buzzword, but as a reality. Our teaching assistants, doctoral students who have double roles playing in our university as doctoral PhD candidates, but also as instructors for our undergraduate students. So their professional development does not only impact their professional careers, but impacts thousands of students, undergraduate students, learning experience, not only learning experience, but also retention in the majors that they select for themselves. So they don't have to drop and we don't have to lose their contributions in something that they are interested in. So today, I'm going to share with you this model, inclusive, interactive. I would like to mention something very clearly, that this is a pedagogical model. It's an interdisciplinary, interactive, inclusive pedagogical model for empowering international graduate teaching assistants. And I have to share with you the population of this amazing group of scholars. They're doctoral teaching assistants who are so globally diverse. They're the best at what they do. The population, it's 20 plus countries, and it's more than 20 countries represented. It's a cosmos of its own. You feel like the world come to Rutgers University for research, for pedagogical and professional advancement, to make a difference in this world. Some of my students come, of course, from China, Japan, Brazil, Argentina, Italy, Greece, Nigeria, other countries in Africa, UAE, in the Middle East, Kuwait, Egypt, India, Pakistan, you name it. Iran, we have Raihana probably with us, also from Iran. I had amazing students from all over the world. That shows the significance of this amazing model that we are about to talk about. And the significance is it's an interdisciplinary sharing of knowledge. I call it ISK. What does that mean? It's, I would say, prior to 2020, our ITA courses were focused on graduate communication support, basically English, and because they were looked upon from a deficit understanding of English language skills. And that was transformed, and thanks to the administration that is unmatched, who gave me the autonomy and supported me, and which I was working on this solely for almost 3 years. And then the past 2 years, the tremendous support that I received from Mark DiGiacomo, of course, Linda Dexmeyer, and of course, our director of the writing program, Abigail Zaitin. She is, it's unmatched, as I say, open door policy. You can always go, you can always discuss, you can always um, improve. And that's why you can always innovate. And that's the highest level of knowledge. That's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for the creation of new knowledge. This is the model that we're setting for our own professional young scholars who come to Rutgers from all over the world to make a difference in this world. This is an interdisciplinary pedagogical and professional training now. So it's no longer to come and improve your English. And we just want to make sure that when you step into the class and you have a heavy accent, that our students will understand you. This is essential. But above all, our students, our scholars can be prepared to effectively present their lesson plans, to illustrate what they're teaching, to share clear, smart objectives that our students would understand not only what they're about to learn, but the purpose and how does it connect to real life scenarios. That's the significance of this program that we have here at Rutgers. As I said, this is an interdisciplinary professional training. These courses, I taught 590, 591, and I redesigned these courses as 590 foundational, 591 sequenced, the second course to follow it in the spring, one in the fall, one in the spring. And then I had to design 591 as an intensive standalone course as well, because I received students only in the spring who just matched to enroll in this course. Now there is a lot of going on now. I have to bring to your attention that this is a synchronous course at the doctoral level. The method, of course, that I have practiced and used is qualitative practitioner inquiry. That's research-based. Everything in this course is research-based. I began teaching this university-required ITA courses aiming to examine the purpose. You can't get anywhere without a purpose. If you have a purpose, then you have a higher objective that you can reach. You have a point of focus and a point of reference. So I examined this with the purpose, the expectations, and the needs and the concerns of the enrolled doctoral students and the outcome of changes, not only on the quality of the teaching assistants' teaching skills, but also the undergraduate learning and retention university-wide. And that shows the significance of this program that we have at Rutgers. Now, this is an inclusive model, as I said, and it's interdisciplinary. What do we mean by interdisciplinary? We're not using interdisciplinary as a buzzword, but as a reality. These courses made interdisciplinary pedagogical training model a reality, and it's research-based model, as we're saying, that transcends the traditional disciplinary boundaries, fostering a holistic understanding of that single disciplines may not achieve alone. Um, I see interdisciplinary. You could see here, this is a snapshot of our students' single project work. As you could see, it's all research-based. Students have the choices to select what type of research that's matching with their discipline. However, it has to also be matching with the pedagogical concepts, strategies that we're teaching. So we have one concept, one pedagogy or teaching approach, and it's been implemented in a multidisciplinary way. So the student would select their own research, they will make their own inquiry, research project, they will write about it, and it's something that really serves a need, an inquiry that they need to learn more about, or a real situation in their classroom that they need to um, learn more in order to advance and improve the learning outcomes of their students. Some of my students, by the way, they facilitate courses in natural sciences, engineering, and humanities university-wide. So we're talking, some of them, they teach from 2 to 3 courses, believe it or not. Some of them are graders. Some of them, they hold labs. And how can we make a difference in our thousands of undergraduate students at Rutgers by these scholars? They're beacons walking on campus every day in, day out. So this is the interdisciplinary sharing of knowledge that I said it transcends the traditional disciplinary boundaries. And I want to stop and take a look at poll 1. What is interdisciplinary learning, and what have you, and I'm sure many of the great outstanding faculty here have grappled with these concepts and experimented with them in our classrooms, just as I did. What do you think the most effective way? So let's take a minute to answer this poll. Is it collaborative projects involving multiple disciplines? Is it peer or team teaching from different disciplines? Is it case study and problem-based learning with real-world scenarios, or use of technology? So do we have and of course, since this is a pedagogical model, so there has to be workshops. We have multitudes of workshops with many amazing doctoral teaching assistants. So
Dr. Howell, I don't know if you can see the results. We have most coming in at either collaborative projects or case studies.
Excellent. And case studies I can never highlight the importance of case studies. Why? Because it's real life scenarios, and it's a problem. It's also problem-based learning. So, and problem-based learning would make people think critically, not just critically. We don't want them to think critically. That's the lowest level. Critical thinking in our program is the lowest level. What do we aim for them to think about the higher order of thinking in order to be able to create new knowledge, to share new insight? Okay, so thank you so much, Mary Jane. So collaborative projects involving multiple disciplines and case studies that present real life scenarios. So that takes us to a beautiful informal conversation that I used to facilitate a few years ago, and I still do, the Conversation Cafe. What does that? We bring the students, and I thank the administration and also the graduate school and the graduate writing program in collaboration with the Graduate Student Affairs for making these places bringing
Very
places
deep.
for our students.
The very basic
I
of
want you, before I stop this, I want you to think of the concept of time from chemistry and the vibration of the atom and the molecules to engineering, physics, and marketing. So listen to this. That was a casual conversation, by the way, but it just reflects the interdisciplinary way of thinking of our young scholars.
on the molecule level, they are all identical. They are all only the different elements.
Even non-living. I mean, I'm bad with chemistry, so
But you're an
does-
engineer.
Yeah, I'm a
Engineer
mechanical
is another
engineer.
end.
Mechanical engineer. I
Okay.
took one chemistry class and I did bad.
Okay.
So the time, the thing is, time is a relationship. Like how do you describe the motion of a object or molecule? Like if you think the state, like your hand, put your hand here, then you switch to another state, and this moving the like you think about like take a picture. If you take a picture when the hand is here, then take another picture. The time is
That elapsed,
is-
right.
yeah.
Wait. A question here. So if my hand never moved, does that mean there's no time?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
That's
a
an
good
engineering
question. So
question.
if you think if you move your hand here, then you move the hand back, the two states, you cannot distinguish if your hand move.
Right.
If
so,
your hand
so there's
move
no
and-
time.
Yeah, if you don't know, if you don't have memory, like if we are human don't have memory, we don't have the idea of time because we don't know if what's the past and what's the current.
Yeah.
That's interesting because in engineering, I don't know, but for me at least, I never thought of that. It's more of a physics question.
Because sometimes if you know this concept, it doesn't help you change
Correct.
things.
Oh, I see. I see. Wow, that's very interesting. Thank you. And what a question you said. If my hands stay or remain still,
Yeah.
does that mean that there is no time that elapsed
if-
or passing because I'm still? Ah, that's a big question.
if we define time as the change in motion,
Right.
and there is no change in motion, there is
Then-
no time.
Exactly. We can't say that.
It's not no time because we have a reference. Because on the earth, the things like
Everything
university
Ah,
is
and
keep moving.
emotion.
You can
Do you
tell.
see now why there's a change of seasons? Do you see why now there is a day and night? So we can know the time and we can calculate. Otherwise, we will have no way, right?
Because
So
the whole
everything-
world is dynamics, it's not static.
Ah,
Yeah.
the world is dynamic, so anything can never be static, including teaching.
Yeah, but
Right?
wait, more of a philosophical question. So what if you are in a dark room with no way whatsoever to
You
understand?
cannot perceive.
You cannot perceive
You
time,
cannot
right?
perceive it. You cannot even calculate the time. If you are in a dark room,
So
pitch
for the
black
human,
room,
for this human in the dark
for
room,
this human,
he cannot sense the time.
the time.
You cannot
Because
sense it,
he
right?
don't
What
have reference
punishment.
to compare.
Oh, okay. I see
Wow.
now. So time is defined as we need a reference, and if we have a reference, we can define time is how far we're from moving from that reference.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
how people define the time. They found the atom, like the vibration of the atom that define it. Like
Oh.
meters, you define the
Right, right,
distance.
Right.
But if in different countries, like in America, they define like the
So-
miles.
Right,
Miles, they have
right.
different standards.
Right.
So
The
for different
metric
people,
system
if they have
is
different
even
standards
time
of the
was
time, they
measured
can
different.
Oh wow.
have
So,
different time.
of course, what do you think about time in terms of marketing?
Money.
Way. Yes, there you go.
How efficient.
Seasons or maybe occasions that you market, right?
Like special holidays.
Yes, special holidays, right?
People even invent holidays.
Right.
Yeah.
You can even invent holidays, you're right? Just for what?
Just will make money.
There you go.
To make
Thank you so much. That pours it down to one little thing. Thank you.
I think
What a
also like the
beautiful-
festivals, like people create story about festivals, so they
Right,
make some day special.
right. So people can actually market, and people can actually, if you don't have any holidays or any special occasions, then marketing becomes little bit harder, right?
Yeah, that would be harder.
You don't have a reason to buy something useless.
There you go. And also, you guys, you create the need. Even if there is no need for something, you
Exactly.
create the
Create the
need.
demand.
You create the demand. And here's the
Exactly.
economics,
Yeah, create
right?
demand.
You create
That's
the
how it-
demands, right? Oh.
Or we say, make a problem and
solve
sell its solution.
Make a problem
That's
and
easy.
sell its solution. So we could see here, this is a way of thinking. So as I said, interdisciplinary does not mean it's just a buzzword. We're teaching through these concepts. Of course, it's a very, very serious pedagogical practice. And it creates a new way of thinking. It brings new insights from all different perspectives. That brings the importance of integrating all disciplines, because nothing in the world in reality happens in a vacuum. Everything happens in connection, in relation with other things. So this is how learning is not and cannot happen in a vacuum. It's interdisciplinary. I want you to think about interdisciplinary strategies as implementing collaborative learning models and utilizing cooperative learning techniques. Not only that, even if it seems to be simple as think, pair, and share, it involves thinking, it involves bringing new insights and sharing those insights with everybody. Encourage group work and design activities where students perceive their success as in connection to the group success to foster real collaboration. But it's also important that we have to define the roles of every member in that group so it's fair, and those roles can also be choices for every member based on their expertise and interest. And of course, integrating, as you all mentioned, case studies and real world scenarios. Leverage, of course, technology as a tool for collaborative learning. So technology here is used as a tool, just like AI today. We hope to take learning and teaching into a much higher level if we can use it properly and ethically as a tool for teaching and learning. Now, I want to zoom fast because I have so much, but this is another that I would like to share with you that I want to stop here and I want you to take a look at what you see. These are just the first page of very effective lesson plan. We learn about effective lesson planning, and every student create their lesson plan in their own discipline. And these are lesson plans that were actually implemented in the class, and the students reflected on them and they showed the growth that what have they learned from it and how can they improve their teaching. So reflective journals and reflective practice is one of our pillars in the teaching, pedagogical and professional training. If you can see here, you see the lesson plans, organic plans, introduction to robotics. There are recitations, data structures in CC+, algorithms. There's so many language as well. The students have different variable disciplines, and this is a hub where learning happens as a reality. So I would just move to the next slide. Here, and that would take us to another. Oh, I want to stop here. And I want you to take a look at this. This is an Italian, actually, lesson plan. It shares the objectives, as you could see, and colore, which is about the colors. And look at the beautiful color that our scholar has actually selected. Take a look at, let me stop here and remove it back. I want you to take a look at the beginning of this. As you could see, these are the lesson plans. And then we continue. to learning objectives. What do they know about learning objectives? SMART learning objectives that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. And you see, this is a concept that's applied on teaching Italian. So you could see this. Before we take this point, something that she has put here, she also focuses on intrinsic motivation, not just extrinsic motivation. That's something that we learn in class. I'm trying to control this here. And then materials, and then intrinsic motivation, and how can you motivate intrinsic motivation. And she's talking about grammar analysis. Have you ever heard of grammar analysis, and what does that mean? She will talk about the suffixes and between nouns and the adjectives. And the adjectives, they modify nouns. We understand in English subject-verb agreement, but we stop there. But when it comes to Latin-based languages or Semitic languages like Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic, there is, and Latin and Germanic languages as well, there is agreement, not only subject-verb agreement, but also adjective and the nouns they modify agreement. There is also case agreement. There's a lot. There's gender agreement. There is number agreement. We are lucky in English. We don't have to think about these things, but that's natural. I want you to see here, my student knows that before she starts, you have to assess the student's prior knowledge, and that's pre-assessment. And that can be also engaging to students, creating a purpose of the lesson. And then participatory assessment, that's in the activity between the groups and the teacher, and the dynamics of this is to check the students' understanding of the new knowledge, building and constructing their knowledge on their prior or prerequisite knowledge. And then there is post-assessment, of course, to check understanding and learning outcomes. So we could see this, and I want you to stop here and see my students know that they have to promote higher order thinking. And these are parts that they have to fulfill actually in their own discipline. Analysis, evaluation, and then the creation of new knowledge, which is our purpose. It's not just raw memorization. And I selected this specifically because of language. And people tend to think that language is about memorizing vocabularies and memorizing certain grammatical structures. But it's beyond that. It transcends to the analysis of the grammar itself, the infixes, the prefixes, the suffixes, and what morphological role do they actually represent. This is very important. Just like when we say learners learn and the learner learns. My students who are speakers of more than one language, they would say, that doesn't match. I'm supposed to say the learners learns because this ends with an S and this ends with an S, and the learner learn. And that's why we make these mistakes repetitively. And I say, no, look at the morphological function of the S in the noun is to make it plural. But the S in the verb here as a suffix is to make it singular. So once they understand these concepts, they never forget it again. I will never have subject-verb agreement. So Maria Laura here, she's actually doing this, the same thing. Remember, introduce, list the colors, understanding. Do you see she's using Bloom's taxonomy's higher level of thinking? She starts by remembering because remembering is also a type of intelligence, by the way. Let's not underestimate it, okay? And understanding, application, and then the analysis, break down and classify suffixes, changes in colors. Do you see? And the agreement between the adjective and the noun, it modifies. And then the evaluation class on analysis of grammar rules. Where does that happen in a language course? In our scholars who are teaching our undergraduate courses, and the quality and the difference they make in our undergraduate learning experience, and also to retain them. And we could see, I need to go because I can go on and on and on. This is amazing work. As you could see here, pre-assessment, students will remember, and she's given examples of every one of them. As I said, and post-assessment and evaluation and conclusion. So this is the type of learning, and grazie, this is the, thank you, this is the type of learning our students do and engage with. So I'm going to take a poll here, which is, how can you encourage students to share the knowledge? Remember, my student was focused more on intrinsic motivation. How can you engage them as peers? And peer reviews are an integral part of any learning process, because we tend to reach our peers, right? If we have any problem, we reach to our peers and we learn from them, and we learn together, and we learn from each other. So that's peer-led discussions. My students lead discussions. They're leaders. Peer collaboration is also important. So tell me, what do we have, Mary Jane?
Our second poll, we have a lot of people responding to the structured peer review sessions and the peer-led discussions workshops for peer teaching.
Excellent. And I found that also I resonate with you and I agree with you 100%, but there are more and more that we could do and learn from our practice. Interactive, now we said this is an interdisciplinary. We learned about interdisciplinary collaborative. We learned about peer collaborative work. Now we need to see what is interactive learning techniques to engage students in online environment. Now, there are so many. And Chris Drew, he is an expert at this from the Office of Teaching Evaluation and Assessment Research. He has taught me a lot and taught all faculty university-wide, but select what really works for you. A lot of these tools are compatible. For me, I use hypothesis for close reading. When we have very difficult reading that we need to break it down, that we need to understand, deconstruct the argument of a research article, I put all my students together. They select whatever resonates with them and they annotate, and then they respond to each other. And this way they learn from one another. So reading is not just an isolating event, activity that happens, but it's a collaborative activity that we help each other to and dig deeper into understanding a specific reading or research. Canvas discussions, of course, I cannot work without having Canvas discussions and responses and the collaboration that happens. And I stay and I step away from the Canvas discussions. I used to comment on every student, and Chris actually told me, oh, that's a lot of commenting, that's a lot of work. It's not the work, he's right. It's just allowing the students to work together, to collaborate, so they have to respond meaningfully and substantially to at least two of their peers. Again, here there are choices, and not only that, but also share a resource. And this way our students contribute to the content of the course, to the materials of the course curriculum based relevant to the unit that we are discussing. I want you to understand this. Of course, here there is group research projects, peer reviews are integral parts of our practice. Presentations, of course, of what we have learned, videos, my students, even in asynchronous course, again, this graduate course or courses, not 590 and 591, and 591 as an intensive course, which is mostly what we do now. They're synchronous courses. But what about asynchronous courses? Students create videos of themselves. I was watching one student after the other creating videos. I create videos for them. I send it to them. They respond to me in videos. They all share. So we're having a community of learners. We're having a collaboration. Everyone knows everyone else, even an asynchronous course. Okay? And Chris is saying here, allowing students space to develop their online discussions without injecting myself into every conversation. He said it has worked with him again. And thank you for bringing this to my attention, Chris. It worked for me now, and it's working for me amazingly now, not only for the graduate courses, but also for our college writing undergraduate courses. Amazing work students can do together. Peer-led discussions, I allow them to take leadership roles and concept and mind maps, of course, to understand the conceptual analysis of an argument or a concept is very important. So moving on, let's move faster. Mary Jane, remind me here, because when it comes to teaching and learning, it's my hobby, not just my doctorate. But I want to share something with you so you could see the type of collaboration that the students have, and I'm going to go through. I'm not going to touch it now. I'm going to let you observe. And the student is discussing the challenges and the growth that she has. And she's talking about asynchronous course, and that's why I brought asynchronous. And you see here, as a teaching assistant, I gained valuable insights into my students' perspective regarding the course materials, and she had to look at the peer reviews here. Every student is interacting, and she is also responding. It's not passive. This is the type of feedback and peer reviews that we need to encourage. So if I leave this and move to another, more Canvas tools. I said I can't do it without Canvas discussions and forums. Google Docs play an integral part in our learning. Why? Because it's live. You could check the history. You could see the revisions of the students. They could connect with one another. They give feedback to one another. So let's see an example here. Of course, breakout rooms and polling. And so let's see an example of peer reviews. Again, if I can just go to this and show you what type of work we do. So this is the role of the teacher and student in the flipped classroom. And you could see I create an introductory video on my own that's asynchronous. And then I create a discussion, many discussions videos. Please keep them because these are assets and you can use them for other students as well. And it shows multiple perspectives and it shows the dynamics of the group for every class. So I share them as well. You could see here we talk about Bloom's taxonomy and how can we use them to create higher order thinking when we design our learning objectives. You could see the flipped classroom, just a little picture. And what I would like to say, I create the learning objective, understanding the teacher's role in a student-centered approach, explore the concepts and strategies of the flipped classroom and blended classrooms, comprehend and understand Bloom's and apply Bloom's taxonomy and its hierarchy of lower and higher thinking skills in your own to create your own learning objectives and create the activities and integrate the role of the teacher in your teaching philosophy. Why? We don't want him to only look at the application, but the higher order of thinking, you create your own philosophy. And it's amazing if I share with you the teaching philosophies of my students. They go beyond my own teaching philosophy. So this is, as we could see here, there is prior reading for class to do. That's the basic knowledge. So they come to class with understanding, and we save the higher order thinking discussion to the class when we are all together. You could see the multimodal resources that I put in addition to my own videos that I create and my students' class discussions videos. We use TED Talks, we use educational videos from other universities, so the students can actually, you could see here. And then I ask the students to share their own resources, and the resources are amazingly, even sometimes better than my own resources. We can do so much as one professor, but if you have the whole group, you can do way beyond. And everyone enriches everyone else's experience. You could see here, I will come to that discussion. This is the Canvas discussion. After engaging with the provided videos and resources, I want you to reflect on Dr. Heba's videos, which is my video, provide the resources on Canvas, and how can teachers and students responsibility for their learning, including autonomy, active participation, critical thinking, and creativity. Share practical strategies from your own experience and read Bloom's taxonomy and also use it. And how can you use the flipped classroom model to engage students at different levels of Bloom's taxonomy, discussed with examples. And you could see the student examples here. One of my students' work here, you could see, he says, autonomy and responsibility, allowing students to choose topics and projects within a structured framework, it fosters deeper engagement. When students in AI, that's the course he's teaching, selected their final project topics, they took ownership of their own learning, leading to greater investment and autonomy. Active participation, you could see, interactive activities like group discussions, coding challenges, and peer reviews are keys to promoting active engagement. This is my student. These are the scholars who are responsible to teach our undergraduate courses. I want you to recognize the quality of work and teaching that they contribute with. Critical thinking and creativity. See, posing open-ended questions, incorporating real-world problem solving encourage critical thinking. In my AI course, students were challenged to analyze the ethical applications of AI that we're all actually grappling with today, which pushed them to think beyond coding and engage with AI societal. And this is the type of learning our graduate doctoral teaching assistants are doing for our undergraduate students. I want you to sit back and relax and know that we have professional scholars who are not only teaching, but motivating and inspiring our undergraduate students in humanities, engineering, and natural sciences as well. Pharmacy as well. I had students who are teaching pharmacy, and they told me, oh, pharmacy by nature is an interdisciplinary discipline. I say, great, teach me about it. So research article recommendations. See, every student recommend articles, and that's of their own choice. They're intrinsically motivated. I have to say this today. Our doctoral students do this kind of rigorous work with pleasure. Not only that, with competence. Not only that, but without receiving grades. No grades. And this is a model that can be implemented for undergraduates as well. I really make sure that I hold the grade a little bit until the students feel like I am doing this for my own self-fulfillment. It's skill-based training, even for my undergraduate students. You master the skills, you have no fear. I am not the one who's controlling your grade. You are. You decide when, whether you're an early bloomer or a late bloomer. So you could see every one of them, they recommend, of course, you see, they all recommend resources, as you could see in blue. And you click on it and you could see and share these resources. Now I'm going to have to quickly, I'm going to stop. I think I give you enough background about this. I will let you create your own thinking. This is Rosie. She's, my role this semester is grading. So here's another young scholar who is grading, handling grades and regrade requests. Aha, that's a big concern for our teaching assistants. The regrade requests. Sometimes it ends up the student gets the same grade, but it's just time consuming and effort. So constructive feedback, she's saying, in grading helps students make grading clear. It allows students to see where they do well and where they can improve. And it can lead to fewer regrade requests. Of course, she's talking about regularly upgrading the instructors. We've been able to effectively adjust the assignments and clarify the expectations to help reduce the confusion and the chances, enhance learning and the chances of students asking for regrades. This is amazing. So she's working with her professor actually to improve the grading policy, to improve the rubrics, to improve the assignments and the clarities and the expectations of every assignment. Take a look at all the peer reviews that goes in here. It's amazing work. I'm just showing you the quality of the work and the expertise that our teaching assistants have all over campus. So here, upholstery. Mary Jane, back to you. This is in your experience. Which strategy has been most effective in maintaining students interactive in online courses or any course? Whatever applies online, it applies in person as well, and asynchronous. Do we have the answers?
Yes, so we're seeing answers coming in on, I'm sorry, let's move to, providing frequent personalized feedback was our largest,
Yes.
designing real-world problem-solving activities, building strong instructor presence.
Absolutely. Your presence matters the most. Your presence in an asynchronous course or in a synchronous course makes all the difference, or in person, of course. Your feedback. I would like to recommend something. Since there's peer reviews, let the peer reviews happen, because once you put your comments, students will be reluctant to put comments after the professor. This is from my own experience. Let them peer review and then provide collective feedback. And then once you've provided your collective feedback, then what you need to do is you provide personalized. So the student will revise based on the peer reviews and the collective feedback, because you have common problems and areas of improvement that you don't need to repeat it over and over and over and over. And then let them revise. And I make my students revise in blue, so I can follow up with my feedback and their revision and their peer reviews. And then after that, give diagnostic personalized feedback, and it makes all the difference. You will see. Here, for example,
the most important thing I learned from this course is that, and I know that students can actually need the course. In this
okay.
course, like,
So he's saying the students actually need the course. So this is not a course that's imposed on them, but they actually need it. It makes them confident. It gives them the pedagogical and professional development that they need. And it helps them as thinkers to create the most challenging and the most insightful dissertations ever. And not only that, but they can actually, my students get awards as excellence in research, like Ray Jung, the Van Dyke award for
actually,
excellence in research in chemistry at Rutgers.
do real time like research, like we search the research articles about the research topic. Yeah, which is
What was your last research topic that you did, Cam?
activeness.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So we do some real-time research on the internet, and we can like lead the discussion on the whole class. So like what is this topic about, and what's the method in it, and how and everyone can share their opinions about this, like the topic. Yeah.
Wonderful.
The most important thing I learned from this course is that
Here, the goals of inclusive pedagogy is to include all the students and into the curriculum. My goal is to empower the graduate assistants to create learning environments that respect and value the difference and learning styles, abilities, discipline. That's what I mean by real inclusivity. Their disciplines, their backgrounds, and not only that, but they will learn how to replicate this for their undergraduate students, improving the quality and the experience of learning in undergraduate. The key outcomes of this is we're leveraging, the strategy is to leverage the expertise. We get people who are the best at what they do from all over the world, then leverage on their strengths rather than, so it's a strengths-based that's now, it's been transforming. This is my 5th year. This is the 5th year actually from moving from deficit-oriented to strengths-based teaching excellence. And the outcome is enhanced teaching effectiveness, sustainable professional growth via transferable pedagogical skills, all based on the latest research and best practice. And of course, improving the undergraduate learning, undergraduate students' learning and retention. This takes us to integrated curriculum. What do we mean by integrated curriculum? And students play a vital component in the curriculum and the learning experience. Incorporating students' perspectives, being sensitive to their expectations, needs, and concerns. It enhances the journey for all students involved and make them thrive. I would like to see here. Do you see all that? It speaks of itself. Every student has created a research, one slide that actually represents, and as you could see the activity here that I put, I said, share your reflection on how does your research, disciplinary knowledge, and perspectives inform your teaching practice, okay? And these are samples of students' reflections here. So reflective writing is also an integral part, but it takes a higher perspective based on the research that the students do. So the case study approaches everything that we do, and this is, they have the ultimate choice. Okay. It's a research-based curriculum, as we said, and you could see here that active learning strategies, the impact of active learning. You could see that the student will select and they will create their own research and they will share the research articles, and not only that, but review articles that would give you a survey of all what was out there until 2024. And some of my students actually presented some of the latest research you could ever find. How could you do this alone as an instructor? You need the community of learners to do it. As you could see here, this is a snapshot of our workshops that we have with students. What is your teaching philosophy? What does it mean? Now they're thinking conceptually, they're philosophizing, they're understanding their metacognition and cognition and all the domains of learning and teaching, the affective domain, the cognitive domain, the metacognitive domain, the reflective domain, which was the core of my dissertation, doctoral dissertation. Now I realize that the affective domain comes on the top. And I want you to think why. And then comes cognitive, and then metacognitive, and then reflective domain. They all work in harmony to create the best learning experience for our students. I want to share with you the course design that we've actually implemented. It goes beyond physical arrangement to encompass instructional strategies, materials, assessments that consider the varied ability, learning styles, and academic disciplines of the learners, okay? And this is to create a setting where the students are actively and academically succeeding and thriving. Poll 4. What do you find most effective in creating an inclusive learning environment that represents and encourages the participation of all your students? Is it knowing, valuing, and connecting with your students? That's affective domain. Is it encouraging students' perspective and open discussions? Is it providing varied assessment methods to accommodate different learning styles? Is it incorporating varied resources to support students with diverse backgrounds, encouraging students to contribute to course content, integrating diverse content, representative of students, and designing course materials with accessibility, of course, in mind? What do we have? Do we get any?
So, Dr. Heba, our most frequently answered one is encouraging student perspectives in open discussions. followed by providing varied assessment methods and knowing and valuing and connecting with students.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is the pedagogical training. Some, to include few but not limited to, active learning, personalized learning, interactive learning, scaffolding techniques, flipped classroom. I do by modeling, we do together, and then you do, show me what you've learned. Student motivation theories and strategies, intrinsic, extrinsic, effective lesson planning is a key. Teaching approaches as well, effective presentation and course materials, because the students can actually present what they want their students to know and have clear expectations. Interdisciplinary pedagogical research, of course, teaching philosophy and teaching portfolio to showcase their excellence, to showcase their success. I want to move quickly here for the time, and I want to share this.
This semester, I'm teaching analytical physics. I learned a lot from Dr. Hiba's class. In her class, I learned a lot. For example, she teaches me how to make students engaged in my class. I'm holding recitations to help students understand physics well, and when they're doing a group work, they can learn how to work as group members well. Besides, they learn I can know how to make students be independent learners, and in this way they can work on their own projects well and independently on their members. And I can think this really helps me a lot to really improve my teaching, and also it makes my students better.
Excellent, thank you. So, Heidi?
Yeah, also, although it is online course, I have felt very engaged in these classes. I think it is because we have many choices on how we participate in these classes. For example, of course, we use Canvas as when we upload some materials, we could discuss about some issues on the Canvas. Also, we use Google Drive for archiving some literature reviews. Also, we can upload some reports or what we are doing on the Google Drive so that we can share what we are doing. And sometimes we use Google Docs so that we can make a common project. Also, we can follow up in real time what we are doing or our friends doing. And we sometimes can text or send an email, so we have many platforms we can choose to participate in this class. I think that is why we kind of feel very engaged in this classes.
Wonderful. Thank you. Enough said. I don't need to say anything here.
Dr. Haba, just as a heads up, we have about 2 minutes till the end of your session.
Okay. I would like to share that there is a lot of innovative work that students can actually present. There's a lot of workshops. I have many workshops with Chris Drew, many workshops with amazing, outstanding professors, including my former colleague, Fang Du, who was from Rutgers Global, assistant dean, and now she is a dean at Princeton Forbes College. Stefan Robelin, who came to my class and gave, he taught me and my students the language of, I would say, I want to show here some of those. As you could see, here's Fang Du, here is Chris Drew. This is just to show a little. And also there are so many other colleagues from English department, just like Stefan Robelin, who came and taught my students the language of value. The language of value that makes everyone feels heard and valued. And he also facilitated another workshop for my English 201 courses in literary studies, teaching my students how to break down, how to develop an argument, how to complicate this argument, how to unpack it, how to break it down in analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and create new knowledge. I am indebted to every single professor, every single colleague, to the outstanding scholars who actually came to help me in this. And these are principles, the principles that we've developed, and they're all research-based. As I said, these principles I would just share with you here. I'll put them for you so you could see. Students play an active role in teaching and learning. Interdisciplinary strategies are used throughout the course. Diverse content and assessment integrates interdisciplinary perspectives and develop an inclusive learning environment and sense of belonging. And in this, I would like to end up with Principle 5, a sense of belonging. Here we have the graduate writing program provides spaces, amazing spaces, and they're doing a great job. And thanks to Mark DiGiacomo, Aaron Kelly, Nella Navarro, and Ben, and everyone, I'm missing a lot of names, forgive me, but who facilitate these spaces and collaborate with me. It's great to work with all of you and to collaborate to create something that is unmatched. Conversational Cafe, Writing Productivity, and the Graduate Symposium, that our students actually showcase their research skills and become experts who receive awards in research. I want to end up with one of my students' perspectives here. He says, all my progress toward becoming a better TA was not only based on my hard work, or my hard work either, but also on the constant help that I received. That's what he thinks. I'm also appreciative of what I received from you and the other students that he received from the instructor and the other students. I would like to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I highly recommend this course, the Teaching Assistants course, the Pedagogical and Professional Development of Teaching Assistant, to every incoming TA, not only the international ones. And that's a message from many of our students. I would like to stop sharing the screen here. And I wanted, are we good with time now? Or do we have a minute that I can actually?
We're actually a little bit of over time, but if you want to wrap up.
Yeah. Okay, I can wrap up right here by showcasing something here. And if I can share the screen. I want to share with you something innovative to showcase the online teaching and learning and what can you do. And you could do this in your own discipline as well. This is something that I have created while teaching with the McGraw Center of Teaching and Learning, which specifically with my colleague, former colleague, Ben Johnson, and I have Chris Drew here, who has been doing very, very compatible work with me at Rutgers. And this is the literacy to teach the doctoral students how to read and write in a different language, in Arabic. You could see here, it shows them on their own pace online. That was done in 2006, I believe. So it's long time ago, as you could see here in the bottom of the screen. But it shows them, this is the innovative part. It shows how the L mirrors the L in Arabic. So we could see that the L in English, the student doesn't have to memorize. They can visualize. It's spatial. They can hear the sound L, and my name is Lam. You see, they could see the words that's shared in Arabic and English, like lemon, loofah, lean, lick, lame, or lemon, right? These are all words that they come from the Arabic language. You could see, for example, the D here. In English, it's closed, but the D in Arabic, it's open because it's from right to left. So you could see the D and how does it transform to the dal, you see, or dalet, you could see here. And you see all the words like down, dug, duration, there are so many words you could see. And you could see the T that we cross, and you understand the T is actually the dash, the two dots, they transformed into a dash. So when we say we cross the T, we're actually dot the T, We cross the T and dot the I. We're actually also dotting the T because the two dots makes a dash or cross. So you could see here again that the T, it's not crossed in Arabic. However, it is crossed in English. But they're they're identical. They're mirroring one another. This is again, it shows the power of teaching and learning. And I'm going to end up with this one. For example, here, the ayn, the letter ayn, and I want to make this bigger a little bit so you could see the ayn, which is the E, A, like Elaine. Elaine means the eye in Arabic, by the way, the name Elaine, right? Which is, you could see the E, it's exactly identical. There is no mirroring here. Do you see it? There is no mirroring. But if I take a look at how the ayn is written with the student see, look at the E. What is this gray part in the bottom? This is what it's lost when it becomes cursive, when it connects. So you could see it here. And by the way, ayn, the letter ayn, which is E, N, it means I. You could see it's shaped like the I. Do you see it? This is the I. And you could see it here in all the words that has the ayn in them. This is the power of online teaching and learning. It gives us a legacy to leave behind that each and every student can learn at their own pace and place. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope that was, it gave you some ideas. And I am also welcome to get your ideas because I learned from all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Haba, for your wonderful presentation. And I hope that all of our participants will enjoy the rest of their day.
Yes, thank you so much for your time. And if I can just give one minute to say I cannot thank you enough for your time. And I can't thank enough my colleagues and my students, above all, who are amazing, amazing. I have not A students, I have outstanding students in the graduate level and above at the doctoral level. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I could not have done it without each and every one of you, student, administrator, and colleague, outstanding colleagues. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mary Jane, for facilitating this amazing time and for all your time that you've spent with me. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and enjoy the conference.